Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis will not be close at all. At all. Yo, Ryan Garcia wins, people are gonna lose their house. Families will be broken. Family will be broken. The voices will be in the works. Come on, man. People will be broke if Ryan Garcia wins. If he wins, hell will freeze over. Dead ass.
I think there's a really big difference between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. At the time of this recording, July 17th, 2022, Ryan Garcia just pulled out 2022 KO and 23rd win overall. He did this in the 6th round against Javier Fortuna when he knocked him out with his signature left hook. And what seems like tradition at this point, Ryan Garcia would call out Gervonta Davis in the post-fight interview.
But I will fight Tank next. If Tank wants that at 140, hey, I'm gonna record all the negotiations.
He's been wanted it.
So you guys don't make no headlines saying I'm ducking. If he want it, let's get it.
That man is like mad excited. Yo,
but never been close to fruition.
I'm just thinking like, yo, if he wins, but I'm like, no, he's not gonna win. But I'm like, if he wins though, I'm not gonna bet on this fight. I'm not betting on this fight. I'm not betting on this fight. I'm good, bro.
I love you. This
I'm
nigga
good, bro.
talking mad shit over here, Tank. Look at this nigga,
2
Tank.
rounds, baby, 2 rounds.
You can find several YouTube videos by very popular boxing channels
2020.
a potential super fight between
Fuck off.
It would be an understatement
Mad
to say that this
clickbait
fight is
2020.
anticipated by many fans alike. But unlike most anticipated super fights, would this fight even be competitive? Would this fight even be close? What I'm trying to say is that there is a big difference between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis.
Maybe.
And I think the difference is so big that this fight would not even be close.
Exactly.
This is why Gervonta Davis is levels above Ryan Garcia. So first, let's go over some basic stats. Ryan Garcia stands at 5'10" with a 70-inch reach.
Oh, he's bigger. He's taller. Exactly.
23-0 with 19 KOs.
And he's faster.
At around an 83% knockout rate. Gervonta Davis, on the other hand, stands at 5'5" with a 67
mad short
reach, with a record of 27-0 with 25 KOs,
monster,
making that at around 92.5% knockout rate. So at first glance, both fighters are undefeated, and they have a very high knockout percentage. But Ryan Garcia seems to have the natural advantage at a taller frame and a much longer reach. But as you may know, in boxing and fighting in general, the person with the taller frame or the longer reach doesn't necessarily make them the better fighter. So let's go over their resume. Like
Everybody
I
knows
said,
that.
they're both Ryan Garcia
We got Mike Tyson back then.
weight class, lightweight at 135 pounds, and has won one interim belt, the WBC interim lightweight title. Now going over their level of competition, let's go over the former champions each fighter has faced. Ryan Garcia has only faced one in Luke Campbell, while Gervonta Davis has faced 4. Gamboa, Santa Cruz, Barrios, and Pedraza. Notably, Leo Santa Cruz was a champion in 4 different weight classes, while Gamboa, though old when he fought Gervonta Davis, was a 2-division champ in the super featherweight and lightweight class, as well as a gold medalist in the 2004 Olympics. Though both fighters have had a young career, Gervonta Davis definitely has a leg up in competition and definitely has the stronger resume. So Ryan Garcia is probably very well known as being an extremely quick puncher. He probably has some of the fastest hands in boxing, and his left hook is so deadly. Not only is it an extremely quick punch, but it's also
Didn't he get most of his KOs from left hook?
As you saw this Saturday against Javier Fortuna, he was able to place his left hook right on the temple, and he's routinely placed it on the temple or the liver of many of his opponents.
But then that means, you know, you can expect it, but he still, I mean, that means everybody expects it though, and he still get it off, so,
he's been criticized for having a lack of head movement, footwork, and offensive variety like a right hand, an uppercut, or a jab. And to emphasize lack of head movement, Luke Campbell, who was the first real high-level fighter that Ryan has faced, was able to take advantage.
This pixel looks crazy, yo.
And on the other side of this, you might be thinking Gervonta Davis is just a power puncher. So this fight is simply just elite speed versus elite power. But if you were able to watch Gervonta Davis at a high level, he is extremely diversified. Most recently, he was able to show us his patience and high ring IQ.
Exactly. Like, he's very skilled. He's very precise. He studies his opponent. He's not just punching, yo. He's not just like.
He eventually found a good opening in the 8th
Exactly.
round when he dropped Mario Barrios once to the head and once to the body. He eventually wore down
pretty
Mario
art,
Barrios
is
and
it?
by the 11th
Like-
round was able to TKO him. And with the
Pretty
Leo
art.
Santa Cruz fight, he showed us that he was able to trade with a very high-level fighter and eventually showed us his devastating power when he delivered one of the most deadly uppercuts that I have ever seen live. And even though he didn't finish Isaac Cruz, he displayed a really good ring IQ and defensive skill and mostly fought this fight on the back foot and eventually won this via points. Though this is a small sample size, I can go on and show you different ways Gervonta Davis is able to win his fights. And if you compare this with how Ryan Garcia finishes his fights, in his last 10 finishes,
That does look
he
crazy
KO'd
though.
his opponent
His speed is
8 out of
ridiculous, but
10
yo, it's
times
just
with a
like
left hook. I'm not going to go into extensive detail of how
he's not
Ryan
gonna
Garcia
win this. No way he's gonna
but
win
it's
this,
mostly
man.
moving forward using
You can
his
never
superior
deny the
speed
underdog.
and eventually catching them with a left hook. So through this pretty short but effective comparison, we can see that Gervonta Davis has much more weapons in his arsenal and he can switch up his attack in a number of different ways. Ryan, in comparison, is relatively very one-dimensional and only has one really
Exactly.
deep weapon in his arsenal, which is his left
Yep.
hook. This is not to say Ryan doesn't have potential to have a really deep skill set, but frankly, we haven't seen different approaches to his wins. So, from the sounds of this video, it sounds like I'm a really big Ryan hater, but I'm not. I actually think he's really good for boxing. He brings a lot of popularity and a lot of eyes to the sport. But there's levels to this. Even though this fight would be huge and extremely popular, I don't think it would be as competitive or as close as people may think. And again, that's not to say Ryan doesn't have the potential to become better
I don't know.
and eventually make this fight with Gervonta Davis competitive, but currently he hasn't shown that improvement in his recent fights. Personally, I'd love to see him fight George Kambosos, who is another fighter I would say is on that tier of just below a Tank, a Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, or Lomachenko.
That makes
and I know
sense.
Kambosos did win over Teofimo Lopez, but we need to run that back. Kambosos lost really decisively against Devin Haney, so I wouldn't necessarily put Kambosos on that tier yet. As for Gervonta Davis, I'd love to see him fight Devin Haney. I think that would be a really good fight against two undefeated, really young guys that have shown that they can be champions.
Alright, this convinced me. House on Tank. House on Tank. House on Tank. No way. No way. I've been listening to some chatter. Listening to some bullshit. No way Ryan Garcia is winning. No way. House on Tank. I already knew that he...
I think there's a way Ryan Garcia can beat Gervonta Davis. For my
No
older
way.
fans, you're probably thinking, I'm a hypocrite. One of my earliest videos on
Exactly.
this channel, and
Exactly,
quite
what
possibly
the
the
fuck?
video that made this channel, was me saying that
Like, there's
Gervonta
no
Davis
chance.
was levels above Ryan
He is.
Garcia. But I do think
is.
there is still a way Ryan Garcia can win over Gervonta
Hell
Davis.
will freeze
the
over.
idea intrigued me, and I got to thinking about this when
Alright, now I'm mad confident. Now I'm mad confident. Fuck that. Hell will freeze over before Ryan Garcia beats David. Beats Tank. No way.
And
No
Gervonta
way.
Davis revealed that they were going to fight in 2023.
Yup.
Despite me saying and still believing
Yup.
that Gervonta Davis will
100%.
convincingly win over Ryan
99.9%.
Garcia, I still do think there's a legitimate chance and a legitimate way for Ryan Garcia to possibly win.
How?
Now, yesterday at the time of this recording,
Speed.
I posted on my
Use
community
reach
poll asking you.
advantage. Land left hook. that's the only thing that's worried me. This really? Come on, bro. Like, come on, man. It's only this. If he that's the only thing to me. That's the only thing to me. Dead ass. I don't know. Maybe Tank just ain't feeling it that day, and he just lands the left hook. He kind of woozy from that, and he just like takes advantage of it. That's the only situation I see Ryan Garcia being Tank. I can't lie. That's the only
Ryan
thing.
Garcia could
Ain't no
possibly
speed or
win
no
against Gervonta
like.
Davis. Now, a couple of
A
you
miracle.
bastards decided to answer this poll.
Pray
very
to God,
A
a
couple of you
miracle.
guys actually had smart responses, and a majority of those
Man.
responses highlighted
Get out of here. It's a mix of all of that. You gotta use the height, speed, and reach to start focus on boxing. They're a lot smaller, and if he rushes in, nose them up to something quick but painful. Like that didn't happen with other fighters though. What are you talking about? That's like he will easily handle that. He will easily handle that.
the obvious.
Like he won't
reach
easily
advantage.
handle that.
Ryan Garcia is about 5 inches taller than Gervonta Davis, and he also has a 2.5-inch reach advantage over Gervonta as well. So it would be very beneficial for Ryan.
So he's saying the
Garcia
same
to
thing he
stay
said in the
behind
last
with
video,
straight
in
punches.
this video, but kind of maybe like flipping it to a different angle because they're fighting now. Okay. You said the same thing, but then you also said it really didn't matter because that doesn't make you the better fighter, and you know that doesn't make him the better fighter because he is not the better fighter.
But as you may know, in boxing and fighting in general, the person with the taller frame or the longer reach doesn't necessarily make them the better fighter.
I don't know, man.
Especially his jab, and utilize his reach advantage. Mario Barrios, a fighter that has a very similar height and reach as Ryan Garcia, had a lot of success in the early rounds when he fought Gervonta Davis by sticking his jab and his straight right hand, and essentially utilizing
this makes it look crazy, yo. Why you got Tank looking like that?
Davis at bay. And joke on him all you want, but Rolly Romero actually had a lot of success in the early rounds when he fought Gervonta Davis and had a lot of success with that jab. So if Ryan Garcia can utilize his reach advantage like a Mario Barrios or Rolly Romero and couple that with his insane speed, I mean, he's going to give a lot of problems to Gervonta Davis, especially if he punches and bunches.
Come on, bro.
It should be noted that Mario Barrios and Rolly Romero,
I ain't gonna lie. Now I'm like, come on, man.
Gervonta Davis.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like I didn't. It's crazy. This crazy. This crazy. Like I did not hear what you just said in the last video. Come on, bro. Come on. This sounds crazy after just listening to that. This sounds crazy. Come on, man.
Activity in early rounds. Tank is obviously known to be a power puncher, but he always tries to methodically find his openings, especially in the early rounds. This leads to him taking off some rounds, and in the second round, I believe, against Mario Barrios, he only landed one punch. So again, in those early rounds when Gervonta Davis is kind of downloading that data and trying to find for his power punches, he's going to be taking off those rounds and landing very few shots. In those instances, Ryan Garcia should take advantage of this and land those straight punches and basically bank these early rounds. On top of this, Ryan Garcia should keep Gervonta Davis busy. Not only should he be banking these rounds by landing these straight punches, but he should land them in bunches and with volume. Because by doing so, you'll keep Gervonta Davis mentally busy.
Seeing these pictures, not seeing it, not emotion makes it more impactful.
He's again downloading this data.
It looks crazy.
I think a lot of Gervonta Davis's past mistakes was that they were
the only time he was like that. Come on, man.
So
I gotta use the same picture.
Allowing Gervonta to find those openings and easily counter them down the line in the fight. Utilizing volume will keep Gervonta Davis preoccupied with defending these punches instead of trying to find openings to counter them. But Ryan should not be overconfident or overzealous, because even if he does find success in backing up Gervonta Davis or landing a lot of punches, this is where Tank is probably at his most dangerous. I mean, a prime example of this is Rolly Romero, when he thought because he was landing so many punches, especially in the early rounds and backing up Gervonta Davis, he got a little overconfident and overaggressive, and Gervonta was easily able to counter him with a deadly left hook. The same thing kind of happened with Cruz when
I remember that moment. I do.
Gervonta Davis, where he was landing and his confidence was growing. He was able to leave himself open for Gervonta Davis to land probably the deadliest uppercut I've ever seen. Now, this is going to be very tough.
I wasn't even expecting that. That surprised me.
Behind his jab, and straight punches, and not look for the finish or overextend. Because the moment you're a little too confident or a little too cocky against Gervonta Davis, he'll find that little bit of daylight and put your lights out completely. Now, if Ryan is able to stick with the game plan thus far, reach and utilizing jabs and straight punches, and not getting overconfident and taking advantage of Gervonta Davis, he also has to try to set up that left hook. The left hook for Ryan Garcia is by far his best weapon, and definitely the equalizer in this fight. He landed a nasty left hook on the body of Luke Campbell in his biggest fight to date. He finished Francisco Fonseca with a nasty left hook to his chin, and for a majority of his opponents that he has knocked out, he's done it through the use of his left hook. So as he's landing these straight punches early in the round and staying disciplined.
Alright, this is like a fever dream. this is like a fever dream, Ryan Garcia fever dream. That makes him predictable with the left hook. And that's why I said, like, with the left hook, if he lands a left hook, it'd be crazy. That's the only chance he really have. Not no speed, not no height. Bro, Tank has dealt with that already. It's the left hook. It's the left hook. Tank, no, he is fast. He's faster than most fighters. But still, like, Tank will handle that. Before I wasn't going to bet nothing after watching those two videos and that Ryan Garcia fever dream, betting the house on him. Betting the house on him. If he wins, I'm broke.